right?
Yeah.
One of the key things is to have like we know that all the top players, they all do extra stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They all do extra stuff. 90% plus from my rudimentary checking into the families, they all do something else.
There's nothing that makes me happier than to see my training being used in games. This is pro Brant Bronico using bender side netting.
Much calmer, but always engaged. Velko Potovic watching on his team, enjoying a 2-0 advantage, looking to build on it. Here's Brant Bronico. Exploring his options. Bronico turns, fires. What a wonderful goal. Brant Bronico, are you kidding? 3-0.
He used the outside of his foot to cut the ball inside and then the inside of his foot to bend it side netting. Now let's look at Brant working on this 4 months earlier at my R&D center.
Nice ball, well done.
This last one was perfectly struck. No pro goalkeeper would be able to get this one. Looks a lot like the one he scored in the game. One of the things I want all of you to get from Brant is his total confidence that as long as he works on it, he will get it.
I'm obsessed with the fact that I can be better if I just put the time in.
And they constantly keep getting asked, well, what is the best? What is a tool for my player to develop? How does my player get to the next level?
I went to some of the ACC schools and I said, what did your players do when they were 9, 10, 11, 12 years old? Because that's when my daughter started. She started at 10 years old. And I wanted to know, because if you know what people do, if you know what they did and you can follow in their steps, you're going to get as good as you possibly can get.
If you want something you've never had before, you must do something you've never done before. Do you want to get a lot better at soccer? And are you willing to make a sacrifice in order to do so? All pro players and all elite college players have made the same sacrifice that you can make.
Okay, guys, I have a very special guest today and a special topic for you guys as well. We're going to talk about what did elite college players do in their youth when they were your child's age. This is Kostas, and Kostas, I'm not going to butcher your last name. I'm not really good with that. But he'll talk a little bit more about himself and his role because he's got some really exciting things going on in Georgia.
The question is, are they maximizing their time?
Yeah.
So if you tie work to, are you putting in the necessary time on your own?
Yeah.
I would say probably I don't have enough kind of a sample size to determine that. But the top players all want to do something more.
Yeah.
But not convinced that everybody does it. I think at the end of the day, we've talked about the opportunities. Are they willing to put some time into the work that's needed to get to that next level?
Competitiveness seems very equal. What about skills? Just raw skills?
Yeah, and that's the separation, right? That's the separation, and you can say there's more numbers to pull from and stuff like that. But the reality is, we all got to get better. I think as a skills, we compete, and at the younger ages we compete. But as players grow through the program, as players develop in their own age, I think that's always a need. I mean, the top players, Messi doesn't stop training.
That's right.
They don't stop training. So for me, as a skills, it's a constant growth opportunity. And the players
sorry. Can you share then? If you say there is a separation there, can you share, like, if let's say Florida is number 5 in the region, but out of like a 5 is the best in the region, are you a 4?
We're a 4.
Are you mid-range?
I think we're a 4. I think we're a 4. Right? And the competitive nature in me, the competitive nature in our team and players and staff kind of kicks in, and we want to be that top, right?
Yeah.
So we're always looking for the nuances of development that we need to do ourselves, and also what we can share with our players to take advantage of.
I'm curious. Where would you say that North Carolina is, just out of curiosity?
I think North Carolina would be a 3 to 4. Along with Texas, I think what Georgia has done and what we have done, it's a credit to everybody that's involved in the program. We have do a lot more in identifying early players, right? Now, with that said, I think our task also becomes, how do we keep those players in the program?
Fascinating, because I've got a chart I'm going to show you. This was not set up this way, just to be clear. I didn't expect this to flow so well, but it's perfectly flowing into a chart that I did after interviewing 27 D1 programs. So interviewing meaning surveying. So, and they included schools like UNC, UVA, NC State, Northwestern, Vanderbilt, UCLA, a lot of Southeast, but also throughout the country as well. And I'm going to share with you this screen, because this is the part of the science of player development, by the way. This is the science of player development. And answer my question and your question too. What did these kids do that are now professional, that are now elite college or out of college? What did they do when they were my kids' age, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 years old? What did they do? Because if you can mirror that, you can emulate that, you can put it into a package and say, hey, follow this program, and you can get as close to that realizing what they've done as possible. This chart, can you see it?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so here's what's interesting about this. There's 3 charts in here, and this is real data, but it's been smoothed out to make it easier to read. But I do have this calculator in our program. The calculator will tell them
how much these college players trained in their youth to master ball skills, mostly on their own and outside of normal team practices. Knowing this is incredibly valuable because you now know and can follow what elite college players did when they were your age.
Too uncanny.
Man, it's almost like you copied what we deal with every year as we turn the page on the older ages.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And what happens is this is what we found out. They haven't built the mastery here. They haven't put enough time in here to want to keep going. So this is really key. If we can get them as a group to be master the ball by 13 or 14 years old. Now in Europe, they'll tell you they want their players to master the ball by 12. And I think in America, okay, it's going to be a little bit later, but before they go to high school, you really want the players to master the ball as much as possible and put the real hours in and the real ball mastery in by the time they get in 9th grade. And realistically, they can continue probably 1 or 2 years in high school, but it's so hard to all of a sudden restart and do a full program as a 10th grader. Okay, now you can do it, and there are players that have done it, but it's really difficult. So you got to master the ball early. And this is just showing you that the idea is that it only takes about an hour to an hour and a half difference between the people that fall off in the blue to people that stick with it in the green and stick with it in the purple. It's about an hour to hour and a half difference per week. That's it, to get one level up. And here's the other one. I'm going to pick a player, and we're going to go through a real calculation here. I'm going to call it Costas. All right, how's that? Costas,
that guy needs a lot of work.
How old do you want to be, Costas?
He needs a lot of work.
Yeah, how old do you want to be? 9, 10, 11?
I want to be 11. That's
okay,
a good age
11.
for us. Yep.
Okay, and
1 time a week.
okay, this is 1 time a week, and then how many minutes?
Maybe 30 minutes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so here's what it does. It's showing Costas is that 1 time a week, 30 minutes. And that's basically 24 development hours per year extra that you're getting, because it's only 30 minutes a week, 48 weeks. And then the average D1 is about almost 4 times that. And then the elite D1 is about, it's going to be about 8 times that. So this shows you, this is real data that I have from D1 players, average D1 players. They'll train about 50 minutes a session. This is just the average, and they'll do it about roughly 2.5 times a week. So let's say they get 110 minutes in a week, 120 minutes in a week. So they can do, what I would do is, if I was an 11-year-old player, I would say I would train 3 sessions a week and about 45 minutes each. But if I wanted to be an elite player, I would train 4 sessions a week, and I would train probably an hour each. And this is extra sessions, extra training on their own at home, in their basement, in their backyard.
This is a new record for 20 cones messy dribbling by Allison Travis. Check out her body posture, her head position, how fast and smooth this technique is. This is very well done.
And then, okay, so does that make sense?
It does, because one of the things that we're always frustrated about, when identifying players, is the two challenges that we keep having over and over again, right? And we've mentioned it at different times. One is first touch, second is speed of play, right? Speed of play can be connected to the ball mastery, can be connected to the technical development of a player, right? Because the more time and competent you are on a ball, the time just seems slowed down for you, right? To become better at making decisions. But if you have confidence on the ball, if you have confidence to do the technical elements of the game, your speed of play becomes faster, right?
But this is something they can control. They can control their work rate. They can control their grit, which I'll talk about in a minute. They can control a lot of their skills, a whole lot of their skill development they can control. So,
You ready? All right, with the pulled teeth and everything. Love it. Love it. All right.
by the way, why train on your own? Because can't you learn everything you need to learn in your youth club, in college, and in the pro leagues?
No, you can't do everything just from a single organization.
Katai, this is Brant Bronico. Advantage played, Chicago Fire. Bronico, Gordon, the little tapper.
Excellent play for me by Bronico.
It felt good to get my first start for the Fire. It felt good to be out there. The guys made me feel super comfortable, played with some confidence, along with Pano. I mean, he believed in me the whole time.
When I found out, I was ecstatic. You know, it's like your first professional start, and it's your dream to be out there playing in the MLS. I didn't have a lot of prior knowledge, maybe a day in advance. A little bit anxious, so the nerves were there, but once I started playing, I felt great.
Bronico now approaching the penalty area. Katai fires! Alexander Katai!
I just take it day by day. You can't get caught looking too much in the past, and you can't get caught looking too much in the future. I think taking every training session, every game, every play even is extremely important, and you need to focus on what I'm doing right there and then.
I was shocked by how much only 5 to 6 weeks of consistently doing those training sessions helped me to develop my technique even at my age.
Well, how much of what we did together do you think that got you there?
I think it made all the difference. I really only so I obviously did some stuff on my own but it was the drills that we did at your field.
Yeah.
That I would go and do on my own. Because I don't know if you remember, but I mean, I started that and I was not very good at it.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, I was so much better, and I felt more comfortable and more confident with my technique and my first touch on the ball. I didn't have to focus on the ball, so it gave me, that split second longer where I could make a decision earlier or put my touch into a different space, or even move the ball quicker with my feet. And it just kind of gave me more freedom and opened up more options for when I received the ball and where I needed to go with it. We had an open, I don't know if it counts the Open Cup game we played last Wednesday, but we went to double overtime and I played the full 120 minutes and we won in penalty kicks 10-9.
Did you shoot? Did you? So
I shot 6.
Yeah.
I was in mine.
Here's a young man that, in essence, could have said, "Hey, I made it. I've got my pro contract, right?
Yep.
I'm on the pro team, on the first team. I'm doing that." But then realized, wait a minute, I want to get better. I want to get to that next level. I want to be in the starting 11. I want to be, get more minutes on the pitch. Those are the players that win.